The winner's signature at the end of this form for your prize. Now let's introduce our panelists. We have Mr. Namai Garrett of Golden Moon Marketing and Management. We have Rachel Hartley Nutrition. Ms. Leah Norris, USC Pharmacy Professor and owner of Glow Out Salon. Then we have Jacob Willis of Willis Human Resources. Please give them a round of applause. Panelists, may you please introduce yourself and tell us about your company? Ladies.
Very good. So again, my name is Jada Willis, and I'm the owner and operator of Willis HR. So essentially, to break down what we do is we essentially vet and interview candidates, high caliber candidates for employers. So we want to find the best talent for typically small businesses to medium-sized businesses. Now, we're actually disrupting it's called the recruiting game. We're disrupting the market because we don't just have the traditional interview as probably you've been either a part of or been taught about, of sitting across from someone. We actually now have incorporated a gaming system as well that will help us test each of our candidates for typically like problem solving, communication skills, and teamwork. So we go a little bit further to help employers find the very best in the way of talent.
Hello, I'm Leah Norris. I'm a pharmacist by training. I'm currently employed by the University of South Carolina. But a couple of years ago, I convinced my husband to go out on a limb and open our own business. And so we own an express beauty bar, which is a really fancy word for kind of a progressive salon in the Vista. We do hair, nails, full nail making, spray tanning, makeup, and blowouts. So we kind of market ourselves as a one-stop shop for females or males who want their essential beauty services.
Hey, I'm Rachel Hartley. I am a private practice dietitian, so I am Rachel Hartley Nutrition, where there's sort of two sides of my business. One side is where I'm working with clients one-on-one. I specialize in sort of merging psychology and nutrition together to help my clients improve their wellness. And then I have this other side of my business, which is kind of this fun marketing media. I run a blog that I've monetized, and through that I work with different brands and promoting their products and getting these messages out. I do some spokesperson work with different brands, so kind of a little, I have this one part of my business where it's interpersonal, another part of my business where I get to use my creative muscles.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nemai Garrett. I'm the CEO and President of Golden Moon Marketing and Fiscal Management. We're a web development organization, web development company. We also do graphic design, social media management. Basically, everything you all do on a daily basis, we get paid to do.
Students, it's time for our icebreaker. Think about your favorite product or service. Please share.
Anybody want to share? Go next.
Here's an entrepreneur fun fact. A good product or service idea fulfills a need or solves a problem. It also is essential that entrepreneurs are passionate about their product or service because developing it typically requires much time and effort. Students, here's another icebreaker. Give an example of your favorite product or service and explain why you chose it. It's raffle time. Please pull out your tickets.
135? 458 135?
139. They got a 35.
458 202. 458 202. All right, y'all, move along.
That's me.
Let's catch you on the next round.
Next question for our panelists. Panelists, share your big idea. Tell a story of how it developed.
Jonathan first.
I guess I'll start now. I used to work at Allen University for 4 years as a webmaster. And working for someone else, I gained a lot of skill. And I've learned to help brand another organization. And so that's what really pushed me to create my own and to help others brand theirs. So with web development, especially if you own a business, right now you need to be on the digital landscape. And whether it's a landing page and a full website, a like page on Facebook, social media, these are things that will help push your business to places that you actually cannot physically be. So my product, I would just say, is helping others be the best version of themselves. I know that's general, but then more specifically, it's really giving them an identity across the World Wide Web.
So I guess I wouldn't say that I call it my big idea, because I think a lot of other people, other dietitians have had similar experiences. But, when I first became a dietitian, I worked in hospitals, and so I worked for other people and did a lot of the same things I do now, working with clients one-on-one. But I always kind of felt in that environment that I couldn't really practice in a way where I was best able to help my patients. So I think for me, my moment of trying to, I knew that there was a better way that I could help people. I knew that there was more that I could do with my clients, and that's really where I started to look at launching my private practice. There was a lot of learning through failures. I think that's something that doesn't always get talked a lot about when we think about business and entrepreneurship. The first year was definitely a struggle where I was learning what does it look like to go from working for somebody else to having to market myself and being able to give really good care to my clients and still still be in a sense selling to them and selling my work that I'm doing. So yeah, so I think that answers that question.
So I think I'm a little bit different than everyone else on the panel in that I'm not my own boss 100% of the time. I'm still employed by the University of South Carolina, but a couple of years ago, around 2009 or 2010, I was traveling quite a bit for my job, and I was fortunate enough to see kind of the beauty industry kind of changing, and it prompted me to think that my whole life, in terms of my whole career as a pharmacist, had been very structured. And I felt like I was really only kind of using one side of my brain, and the creative side was kind of being suppressed a little. And so with that kind of came this idea of, there was nothing similar to this kind of new beauty idea in the industry in Columbia. And so I felt like it was a really great place for females and males to go and kind of escape the busyness of our everyday life, kind of network with colleagues or spend time with family, friends, etc., and really be able to get everything under one roof. Now, there's since been other kind of businesses that have popped up in town that are similar, but that's kind of how our big idea came about. So I was very fortunate that I had a close friend in the industry in Chicago. She was working to rebrand her business, and so we were able to kind of collaborate together, and under her mentorship, we were able to kind of license a brand together that we were able to bring here in Columbia. So it's been really awesome to see the business kind of bloom over the last 4 years, so to speak. We have a location in Chicago, there's a location in Indiana that will be opening up in the next year, and then there's also a kind of a small little piece in Milwaukee as well.
So I would actually go back to whenever I was a server at Pomeranian Steakhouse, so I was 16 years old, I begged for a position actually as an intern. So you're encouraged to kind of go after the things that you want. Well, they couldn't afford to pay me, so I agreed to work for chicken wings and mashed potatoes. So it's a good plan. Overall, I was fed. However, I was gaining the experience. And so my true product is the knowledge that I was able to create or obtain through that experience. And then obviously working as an HR for Verizon as well as Target. So that knowledge, I was able to see human resources. I was able to see the people that work with inside the company and get to know what's really needed and how kind of business practices can improve. So as we look at Apple and our new devices, that takes really creative people, even like yourselves, to apply for the positions, put yourself out there, and then go through this like extreme vetting process. And so what we essentially have kind of packaged is the how to get the right person with the right company so that you can have an end result of the iPhone, right? To get the right product and services for that particular company. So really the product is the service, and that's essentially how do we go about getting to know you, the candidate, or the job applicant, and then how do we actually fit you into the right place? And just as a final note is, even if you come to me and apply for one position, I may even look at you and say, hey, you know what, through your skill set, you'd be a better fit for this position over here. So it's more of a targeted review process and application process.
Panelists, describe the target market for your product or service. Explain why it feels a need.
So, sure, absolutely. Yeah, the target market essentially are really businesses that do not have what I would call HR on staff, right? Or even if they do, they're kind of swamped and busy, but they don't have the time. Every business owner, I think you all can agree, is that you guys are so busy, and there's so many priorities, so many hats to wear, and we'll learn about all that verbiage. But essentially, it's folks and businesses that can really use someone taking the interview process off their hands, that needs someone that's more of a leader and has that initiative and skill set, and really they're just willing to more so outsource those services and let us be a partner for that company.
So our target market is really anyone who's looking for essential services. So we set up our business into this with the hopes of kind of marketing to really anyone. So it could be a high school student who's looking to go to an event. It could be a college student. It could be a working mom, a stay-at-home mom, a working dad, a stay-at-home dad. It could be a government official. It could be visitors from out of town who are looking to kind of have some sort of essential service to treat themselves perhaps while they're on vacation in the great city of Columbia for the weekend. So that was kind of our target audience, and we knew based off of other businesses that we had visited in various cities across the United States that this was kind of the true target audience that we needed to focus on. So that was one of the reasons why we kind of did a little bit of market research and why we placed our business where we did, because we felt like that was really the center of that true target audience.
I love this question because I know for me personally, one of the biggest things that helped grow my business was better understanding who my ideal client is, who I want to work with, and how I can best help them. That was the thing that took me from that first year of struggling and feeling afraid of how I was going to pay bills and wondering if I made this huge mistake, was really taking a step back and saying, okay, who is this person that I want to work with? Who is this ideal client? And how can I make my service best meet their needs? How can I best help them? And so for me, as the dietitian who specializes in working with sort of, again, melding that nutrition and psychology aspect and helping people improve their relationship with food, my ideal client is a woman who has spent a lot of her life dieting and has done a lot of reading online and feels really confused about all the nutrition information out there, and is really done with pursuing these restrictive paths and wants to instead kind of focus in on self-care and focus in on herself and meld together, but not ignore their mental health or their physical health. So when I was able to identify that, actually one tool that I often have to work with dietitians who are opening their own business, and one tool that I have them do is actually creating a new client avatar, or an ideal client avatar. And this avatar HR is basically creating a image of this ideal client that they want to work with. And then when they're able to put their marketing out there, create social media content, whatever it is that they're doing, they're able to have an actual person in mind. And that way they're speaking to a person and not, kind of speaking, just throwing out words that might not connect to somebody.
My market or my target goal is anyone. It could be community-based organizations, church-based organizations, government organizations, small businesses, schools, or even individuals. I've created websites and done marketing for photographers, for dancers, for anyone. If you want to promote your brand, promote yourself, that's what my business can handle.
Panelists, please talk about how your product or service is appealing to your competitors.
Repeat that.
Talk about why your product or service is more appealing than your competitors.
I've always been a people person. I guess as Leanne, correct? As Leanne said, we wear many hats. By my 9 to 5, I'm the executive director for the Joseph H. Neal Health Collaborative. And then I also have multiple streams of income coming in. And I think that me being business savvy in that way, being a volunteer at the South Carolina Diaper Bank and helping other folks do things, I think that I've built my network. And I think that's big. Right now you're in high school, some of you are juniors, some of you are seniors. You have to learn how to talk to people, learn how to network, exchange numbers, exchange email addresses, and make sure you build your network so when it's time for you to create your own business, all you have to do is pick up your phone and dial every number in your phone and say, hey, support me, right? And so that's what I've done to kind of outshine my competitor. I'm not afraid to build my circle so I can have somebody on speed dial